Is what you see behind me actual satellite imagery of Malaysia Flight MH370? Whether it is for sure or not, it's creating all the buzz across the internet right now, and many theorists believe it to be authentic. And you already know, your boy has the scoop on what it's all about, and possibly even where it ended up. Stay tuned. But before we continue this one, y'all already know the drill. Malaysia Flight 370 went missing back on March 8th, 2014, and its disappearance captivated the entire world. The massive Boeing 777 took off with 239 occupants, 227 of which were passengers. As it departed from the Kuala Lumpur airport, destined for Beijing, China, everything was normal until about 38 minutes into the flight, when it took a mysterious U-turn. Air traffic control had radar on it up to this point. Then, Malaysia military picked it up for another hour, when it finally disappeared for good. And that's where the mystery started, and it has remained unsolved since. Regardless of its disappearance almost 10 years ago, people still ponder over what happened to it. And that's why there's so much buzz surrounding this footage. It's absolutely intriguing. Whether authentic or not, we'll probably never really know. Nevertheless, any evidence is worth looking at, considering nobody's really even come close to solving what actually happened. But before we continue, a little background information. I was actually sent this footage months ago. I stumbled across an email from a random follower, and the subject said MH370, so instantly I was intrigued. According to the anonymous source, this footage actually was leaked by the Russian military. It said it actually came from the hands of a Russian soldier who was seeking asylum in the United States. In order to gain this asylum, he said he had footage of what actually happened to MH370. Supposedly this footage is it. Now, can we authenticate that? Absolutely not. It could be total bull. But needless to say, fascinating backstory. Like I always say, I provide the information and let you decide. Now let's check out this video. Alright, so here's the full-length video. You'll see the plane enter the shot from the top of the screen. From there, it looks to be satellite imagery from above the plane. Now, people online were saying in the comments that they believed it was below the plane. I don't see where they get that. It doesn't look like that to me. As you can see, a UAP enters the scene and begins circling MH370. Then it splits into two, then three, and they begin circling. This is when I believe that the radar was rendered useless. These UAPs were actually blocking it from view. At this point, I also believe they're in control of the flight path of the craft. Here you'll see, all of a sudden, they make it completely vanish. Gone. Now this is thermal imagery. I believe this is from a drone, which also tells you this was a planned attack, that there was some very highly technological equipment involved in this, which tells me it's from a very high up and high ranking entity. Possibly military. Not sure though. Notice the pattern that those UAPs are flying in. Almost like a helix. It zooms in and you'll see here, the three of them come together and boom, it disappears completely. Now, that's actual speed. Here's slow-mo. Check it out. There was no sound on this footage. Perfect triangle. Now, if this footage is real and this is true, what's the motive? What was on this plane? Well, there's a lot of theories. I've heard from Malaysian underground mafia gold to high-ranking government officials wanting some technology on board. There's all kinds of conspiracies surrounding it. Who knows which one holds true? But say this video is real. In a hypothetical situation, say it's authentic. Where did it end up? What happened to it? I've heard a lot of people talking about this time traveler on TikTok who claims that they'll be back in the year 2026 or something like that, and it'll seem like they were only gone for 2 seconds to them. possible, I guess. I mean, you saw how it disappeared. It could be something related to time travel. Who knows? But I don't believe that's the case. Why? Well, a while back, a follower emailed me. And he emailed me a picture on Google Earth. This picture was absolutely fascinating. And after a little research, it definitely hit a chord. Let me show you. Now, before I begin, I'm going to fact check myself. According to Snopes, this Google image of a plane that looked to be underwater off the coast of Crooked Island is in fact not a plane underwater. According to Snopes, it's actually a composite image of multiple satellite photos of a plane that was above the water that was taken throughout Google Earth's whole tenure back to 2004. And they say that its shadow under it is what we're seeing. Now, could be the case, absolutely. I'm not saying it's not. Most likely it probably is because it's a fact check, right? So I'm just saying this is what Snopes has found out about it. All right. That being said, check this out. So this video is from a live I did months ago after being sent this image from Google Earth. You'll see that it's just east or southeast of Crooked Island in the Bahamas. And what looks to be underwater is a plane. And if you look closely, it looks to be a large plane. Then I proceeded to measure the dimensions. The Boeing 777-200 extended range is 242 feet from nose to tail. This measures at, take a look. Then from wingtip to wingtip, it measures 212 feet. Observe. Interesting. What's more interesting is Crooked Island does have an airport. That's 5,000 feet, which according to Malaysian officials is just enough to land the 777 from 3,800 to 5,200 feet. Now, I'm not saying it is. I just think it's kind of intriguing, the thought process of the possibility, given that previous footage of it disappearing is true. Could it be an anomaly of extraterrestrial origin? Possibly. Why? Because Crooked Island is just inside the Bermuda Triangle. And the way it disappeared, could it have been a Bermuda Triangle on the opposite side of the world? Who knows? Or could it be extraterrestrials behind the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle the entire time? Now that more extraterrestrial phenomena is being exposed, we have to consider the possibility. What's interesting is when I shot the video during my live, the plane was completely visible. But now if you go look at it, this is what it looks like. You can still kind of see it, but it looks covered up in some way, maybe satellite image layering, who knows. Regardless, if you like to consider the possibilities or think outside the box, is it possible? Could that be MH370? Who knows? Like I said, Snopes and fact checkers, it's just layered satellite imagery. But if you like to keep options open and not limit your constructs, I believe it's possible. Very possible. I mean, if you believe the footage to be true, why can't this? It's all out there. It's crazy. But as you know, if you watch my channel, the possibilities are endless. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. After my little hiatus, I am back full time. So stay tuned. More coming your way. As always, stay in the love, stay in the light. Be kind to others. I am out.